Another video is starting here on the channel. Subscribe, like, and let's go for the unmissable content. Asuka is a penniless young woman who gets a job as a maid for an idol group known as Bloom, made up of 7 boys who sing and dance daily for their fans. The group's leader is Dante, a young man with a rigid personality who never smiles and is constantly irritated with his bandmates, accusing them of not trying hard enough, resulting in a loss of followers. Dante is jealous of another band called 15, which is achieving more success than them and even receives gifts from fans. One night, Dante returns home depressed and finds Asuka preparing food. Surprised, they trip over each other. Just then, Naru appears, witnesses the scene, and runs to warn the others that Dante has brought a girl home. Asuka explains herself, saying she's not anyone's girlfriend, just the new maid, there to take care of the housework. Dante doesn't like the idea of having a girl in the house, but the other members are thrilled with Azuka's presence, even offering her clothes. Noah tries to take off her shirt, but Asuka, embarrassed, asks him not to. Everyone seems to like her, except Dante, who considers her a nuisance and claims they don't need her. Even so, Asuka persists and begins following Dante around the house, asking if he remembers her. We then discover that Dante was Azuka's student years ago. She once heard him sing a beautiful song, but he ran away in embarrassment. When she found a recording of his voice, she was so moved that she cried. Because of this, Dante found the courage to return, and Asuka encouraged him to pursue his dream of becoming a singer. Now, she congratulates him on making it this far. However, Dante pretends not to remember anything, which hurts Asuka. Later, the boys call an emergency meeting to decide what to do with Asuka. Yuck, the smartest of the group, comments that she is very adorable and suggests they let her stay. During the night, while everyone sleeps, Dante continues working on his computer, determined to write a hit. His dedication is so great that he ends up exhausted, and when he meets Asuka again, he still treats her coldly. Curious, Asuka asks Neris why Dante acts this way, and he reveals that Dante has a heart of stone due to having been hurt so much in the past, making it difficult for him to trust others. Later, Asuka visits the group at work and is impressed by their talent. She brings food for everyone, but Dante insists that she leave, saying she's disrupting things. Narus and Yuck then confront Dante, questioning the reason for his rudeness. They begin to argue, but Asuka manages to calm things down. Suddenly, Guaja, the label president, arrives with shocking news. The band's contract will not be renewed, and in 6 months, everyone will be laid off. After his departure, Dante takes responsibility, claiming it happened because they didn't dedicate themselves enough. But E argues that Dante is being too harsh, sparking another argument. Asuka follows him and insists that he shouldn't abandon his dreams, but Dante counters, saying she has no authority to speak about it, as she also gave up her own dreams when she abandoned her teaching career. The final revelation is that Asuka left the school in the past, something that deeply hurt Dante, as she was not only his teacher but also the woman he admired most. With the group's support, he approaches Guaja and begs for one last chance to show they can be the best band. Guaja agrees and allows them one last performance. From then on, the boys train intensely, with Asuka by their side in support. Despite struggling to stay focused, Dante can't help but glance at Asuka occasionally and think about her lips. After the show, which had modest success, Guaja makes it clear they need to take their music to the top of the charts or they'll lose their jobs. It's then that Asuka declares that her dream now is to see them reach the top, and she'll do anything to make them famous. Her first move is to schedule a photo shoot, but the experience doesn't go as planned. The band members still maintain a cold relationship, especially Dante, who continues to isolate himself. He secretly listens to the song Asuka composed for him over and over, unable to get it out of his head. Asuka warns him that a band needs to be united as fans notice the lack of connection. Yuk decides to confront Dante, asking him to start writing again. However, Dante distances himself again, and Asuka emphasizes that success is impossible without unity. Naru then reveals that Dante used to be a warm person, bringing joy to everyone around him. Despite his demanding attitude, everyone trusted him. But everything changed when a former band member left. Since then, Dante lost his shine. Naru comments that, thanks to Asuka, Dante has started smiling again, albeit subtly. He believes that only Asuka can truly transform Dante. Motivated, Azuka manages to convince him to resume working with the group. They practice so much that Dante ends up falling asleep from exhaustion, and Azuka lovingly covers him with a blanket, which makes him realize how special she is to him. Later, Azuka receives an invitation to a party. Everyone is happy for her except Dante, who, overcome by jealousy, remains serious and doesn't even greet her. He tries to distract himself by playing the guitar until a message arrives from her informing him that she's drunk. Worried, Dante goes to the party and finds Azuka talking about Bloom and complimenting his beauty. The presence of a celebrity cheers everyone up, and Azuka continues to drink until she has enough. When Dante tries to give him water, Azuka approaches, his face just an inch from his lips. Nervous, Dante listens as Azuka promises to gain millions of fans to prove to the world that they are the best musical group. He considers leaving her there, but decides to carry her in his arms to ensure her safety. During the journey, Azuka takes the opportunity to smell Dante's perfume and asks why he's always so lonely. He replies that he feels like everyone hates him, but Azuka promises to offer love and brighten his life. Determined, she manages to schedule a small performance for Blue at a shopping mall. Although the venue isn't worthy of their fame, they agree to perform to bring joy to their fans. At the end of the show, the event organizer thanks the group for their generosity, and Dante decides to open up to Azuka. He confesses his fear of disappointing people, feeling he's not talented enough. He admits that he wishes he always had a smile like hers, and that he envies her joy and ability to make others happy. Azuka then explains that if he doesn't believe in his potential, no one else will. She assures him that he has a lot of talent. Even Kuyaya acknowledges that, although Dante sometimes irritates him, everyone knows he gives his all and is proud to have him as their leader. Dante's friends offer kind words, and everyone hugs as Azuka watches with a proud smile. Soon after, they discover that a video of Dante tripping and falling has started going viral on social media. Seizing the situation as a promotional opportunity, they decide to use the video to their advantage, even though Dante is nicknamed Fofo in the comments, which makes Azuka jealous. Later, someone knocks on the door. It's Kozaka, Azuka's sister. She reveals that she discovered her husband cheated on her with a coworker and now feels lost, as everything in her house reminds her of him. Compassionately, Azuka invites Kozaka to spend the night with the group. That same night, she catches Dante staring at Kozaka's dog. He admits to being afraid of dogs and asks Azuka to keep it a secret so he won't be laughed at. Azuka agrees, but imposes the condition that he accompany her on a walk. During the walk, Azuka gives Dante the dog's leash as a way to help him face his fear. He hesitates at first, but when he realizes how much Azuka always supports him and the impact of her smile, he feels a sudden urge to kiss her. He considers declaring his feelings, but remembers that romance is forbidden in the group, which causes him deep frustration. Even so, walks with Azuka become Dante's favorite moments, a space where they can openly discuss their feelings and truly understand each other. Later, Vara determines that Bloom no longer needs Azuka and that they must learn to take care of the house on their own. Disgusted, the boys go on a hunger strike, refusing to let her go. Moved by their affection, Azuka promises to teach them how to cook and wash clothes to ease her workload. Later, when she goes for a walk with Dante, she can't help but smile at the thought of being alone. Suddenly, a bicycle comes toward her, and Dante pulls her close to him to protect her. The moment is so intimate that both are extremely embarrassed. Over time, Dante and Azuka begin to spend more time together, leading the other members of the group to suspect something is going on between them. To dispel their doubts, they intentionally leave them alone. Then, Dante proposes a bet. If he hits the dart dead center, he'll be able to have a date with Azuka. He throws the dart before she can answer, and it hits dead center. At that moment, his friends come out of hiding and excitedly ask if the two are dating. Dante immediately denies it, but the following days become quite awkward. They can barely look at each other without blushing, and the others gossip about it non-stop. During this time, the group needs to compose a new romantic song, but Dante reveals he's never had a girlfriend and therefore doesn't know how to write, something so sentimental. To cope, he invites Azuka to a date at the zoo, and she accepts. However, his friends decide to show up too, which leaves Dante frustrated to see his special moment interrupted. They take several photos with Azuka, but Dante, who hates photos, feels left out. Taking advantage of a moment alone, Azuka secretly takes a photo of Dante to save his cute expression forever. She then tells him he looks very handsome that day. Dante becomes so nervous that he has to leave before his heart explodes. Later, Naru reveals to Azuka that Dante listens to the song she sang to him in school every day, and that his feelings for her are so strong he can barely hide them. Azuka is shocked, but aware that if they start dating, Dante could be kicked out of the group. She decides to stay away for a while in a painful attempt to cool his feelings and make him forget her, at least for now. Azuka accepts another job, with her sister, while Dante suffers silently, as she hasn't been home for days. His friends notice his sadness. Dante seems to have lost his life in his eyes. Worried, their boss sends a new girl named Jinyan to try to distract him and make him forget Azuka. Gina is an old friend of Dante's and is in love with him. When she sees him looking downcast, she asks if it's because of Azuka. Meanwhile, Yuki also has an interest in Gina and is uncomfortable seeing her talking secretly with Dante. Meanwhile, Dante realizes that repressing his feelings only increases his pain. Determined, he runs to Azuka and without hesitation, tells her that being with her is the best part of his days. Dante reveals his feelings, confessing that she is the reason. He now loves writing music. After all, Azuka was the first to praise his songs. He admits that without her around, he feels like he's going crazy. Azuka is surprised, but Dante wraps her in a shy hug that soon turns into an intertwining of arms and hearts. This moment is deeply inspiring for Dante, who spends days creating a new love song. As soon as he finishes, he performs it live for Azuka, who smiles throughout the performance. The song expresses his love for her, and how her eyes are like a sea he longs to lose himself in every day. The group Bloom releases the song, but unfortunately, it doesn't achieve immediate success, peaking at the bottom of the Asian charts. This discourages the group, but Azuka encourages them with kind words, which gives Dante strength. He stands up and suggests that, instead of complaining, they should think of strategies to climb the charts, which fills Azuka with pride. Shortly after, Gina appears and asks if Azuka likes Dante. To hide her feelings, Azuka pretends not to. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Gina asks Azuka to tell Dante that she would like to go out with him. Azuka relays the message, and Dante is speechless. The truth is, he doesn't want to go out with Gina. What he longs for most is a moment alone with Azuka. Confused, Dante begins to feel suffocated by the pain in his heart every time he looks at Azuka, barely able to stand. Meanwhile, the group rehearses new choreography to improve their performance of the new song, but Takara, one of the members, is hiding an injury. He reveals the truth to Azuka, who tries to help him recover, as the group is about to perform an important concert. However, Takara's ankle worsens, and he finally informs the others about his condition. The group is irritated that he didn't tell them sooner. Initially, Bloom considers canceling the show, but Dante has an idea. They'll perform seated, so Takara can participate. The group takes the stage, sings their hearts out, and the fans go wild. During the show, Dante searches for Azuka in the audience. When their eyes meet, he smiles like someone in love. Shortly after, the song reaches number 3 on the charts, a huge success. Overjoyed, Dante runs to Azuka and, with his heart racing, tells her he needs to see her. He runs into Azuka's arms, ready to confess his love for her. But suddenly, Gina appears and hugs him as if she were his girlfriend. Azuka's heart sinks, and she, without saying a word, walks away in silence. Gina congratulates Dante on his song, but he coldly replies that he doesn't have time for her. Gina persists, confessing that she likes him, but Dante is blunt. He says he doesn't feel the same way because he loves someone else, and that person is Azuka. Upon returning home, Dante tries to clarify the situation with Azuka, stating that he doesn't like Gina. He emphasizes that he only has eyes for her. However, when the other members of the group enter the room, Azuka pretends everything is fine, hiding her feelings, while Dante suffers in silence with the love that consumes him. Soon after, Bloom notices a significant increase in fans. Seizing the moment, they do a new photo shoot, this time focused on showcasing the members' most intimate and personal side. They also participate in a special report. However, during the interview, the journalist broaches a sensitive subject. She mentions Makami, the former band member, and questions whether the rumor that he left because of Dante is true. The boys don't know how to respond, and Dante ends up being seen as a potential tyrant, which isn't good for the band's image. To cope, they decide to invite Makami to the next concert and choose Dante's old school as the venue. However, this choice affects Azulka, who harbors painful memories of that place. It was there that she was fired, a trauma she still carries, secretly, without ever having told the group. Meanwhile, Azuka begins to realize that her feelings for Dante are different from those for the other members. She feels something stronger, deeper. However, knowing the importance of this moment for Bloom, she decides to stifle her love, preferring not to be a distraction when the group most needs focus and unity. Discovering Azuka alone in the rain, Dante immediately goes to meet her. When she sees her, Azuka tries to pull away, but Dante pulls her close, hugging her firmly, as if needing to reassure her that he is okay. Azuka then reveals that she didn't intend to attend the concert at her old school because she was expelled from that place, but Dante surprises her by stating that he won't sing if she isn't there. Unexpectedly, a fan recognizes Dante on the street, and to hide, he presses Azuka against the wall, making her shy at the proximity of the bodies. Later, someone breaks into Azuka's house, leading them to decide to spend the night in a hotel for safety. Upon returning, they discover that the intruder is actually Makamo, a former member of Bloom, driven by envy of the band's success. Contrary to rumors, Dante never kicked him out. In fact, Makamo left because he didn't believe the group would succeed. Now he lives an ordinary life while his former bandmates shine in fame. After this revelation, everyone gathers around Dante and apologizes for having listened to the rumors. Relieved, Dante is proud to finally see the truth recognized. He then promises Azuka that he will wait for her at the show. Before the event, Azuka seeks out Makamo and encourages him to attend the concert, emphasizing that holding a grudge only hurts one's own heart. The show is about to begin, and Dante searches for Azuka in the audience, but she hasn't arrived yet. She's running alongside Makamo to make it to school on time. On stage, Dante dedicates the song "Funny," which taught him to never give up on his dreams. While listening to the performance, Makamo becomes emotional and recalls the happy times he shared with his friends before leaving the group. After the song, he joins his former classmates and apologizes for not trusting them. He affirms that he still considers them friends, and each confesses their flaws, acknowledging that, although imperfect, they share something in common, a true love for each other. Dante declares them his soulmates, and they all make peace. Akam then comments that the group is lucky to have Azuka by their side. Upon learning that she was left behind, Dante runs desperately to find her and sees her collapsed on a street corner, reliving her school-related traumas. Carefully, Dante reaches out and tries to calm her. He's about to take her to the hospital, but they're interrupted by Iyati, a former professor who takes over Azuka's care. This makes Dante jealous. Shortly afterward, they have to escape a horde of fans clamoring for autographs and even kisses from their idols. Later, Yuki comments that Professor Iyati seems to like Azuka. Dante, annoyed, tells him to shut up, as hearing that is too painful. Meanwhile, Iyati tries to convince Azuka to go to his house, but she refuses, saying she's busy, having to host the group Bloom to celebrate the success of their new song. Dante, still worried about her, begins to do the household chores that were Azuka's responsibility. She insists it's not necessary, but Dante senses that behind her smile lies a sadness in her heart. So, together with the other members of the group, Dante organizes a surprise party for Azuka. Before the celebration, Iyati meets with them and tells the true story of her past. Azuka was considered the best teacher in the school, adored by all the students, especially the girls who longed to be her friends. One day, she encouraged a student to study abroad. The girl's mother was furious and accused her of poisoning her daughter. As a form of revenge, the girl spread the word that Azuka was an alcoholic. The rumor spread quickly, students began to avoid her, and after failing her exams, she was forced to apologize to the entire class, even though she wasn't entirely to blame. Since then, Azuka has carried this trauma in silence. Azuka was humiliated by the other teachers and ended up being expelled from school. Now, alone at home, she looks emotionally at a photo of herself with the Blue Boys. They then surprise her with a surprise party. Gathered in a circle, they say they did everything to let her know how much everyone loves her. Azuka, moved, recalls her trauma and opens up, confessing that she couldn't get into school to see the show because she still feels guilty about what happened. But the boys reassure her, assuring her that they love her just the way she is. Dante becomes enraged and yells at her to stop blaming herself, insisting she did nothing wrong. It was the ignorance and toxicity of the people around her that were to blame. Dante declares that for him, she has always been the best teacher, an incredible woman who deserves heaven. Azuka begins to cry and finally understands that being herself is enough. Her purpose is to make the people around her blossom. Therefore, they all hold hands, sharing love. Later, Azuka drinks too much on the penthouse, and Dante finds her. He holds her hand and, full of passion, confesses his feelings for her. Instead of kissing her, he writes, "I love you," on her palm. Dante knows romance is forbidden and that he must focus on Bloom, but he still wants to repeat this, "I love you," every day, so Azuka never forgets how much she is loved. The problem is that Naru hears everything. Shortly after, the group performs so well that Vaja announces a world tour on the best stages on the planet. Dante tells Azuka the news and once again holds her hand in a gesture of tenderness, but Naru invites Azuka to talk. When Dante arrives, the tension rises. He watches them from afar and, so disconcerted, he even bumps into the refrigerator. Naru then confronts Dante, saying he knows about the affair with Azuka. Dante gets nervous and tries to deny it, but Naru insists it's obvious. He notices the sparkle in Dante's eyes every time Azuka smiles. Even so, Naru asks them to keep everything a secret, because if they were discovered, Dante could be expelled, and the group needs him now more than ever. Later, Dante and Azuka are together again, when Yakujios catches them holding hands and is startled. Faced with the situation, Dante admits to being in love with Azuka. The boys ask if they've ever kissed, and Dante replies no, but reveals that he dreams about her kisses every night. He says Azuka is his motivation to continue with Blue, but, his friends warn, if they start dating, everything Dante said in interviews and all the lyrics of his songs will be interpreted in light of romance, which could damage the group's image. That's the consequence of being famous. Heartbroken, Dante begins to doubt himself. Later, they film the music video for the new song on a beach, but Naru is dissatisfied with the result. He and Dante argue until Azuka appears, bringing them both food and peace. Yakuji, intrigued, asks, where they each see themselves in 10 years. Azuka sweetly replies, "I hope to be with you." At the end of the recording, Dante gives Azuka a small pendant, saying he had forgotten to give it to her earlier. They hurry to leave, feeling like they're being watched. Shortly after, their phones begin to vibrate incessantly. A photo of the two together is posted online, with a headline claiming they are dating and kiss every night. Azuka begins receiving hate messages from fans, and her boss decrees that Dante is banned from dating. This directly affects Blue. Thinking only of the group's best interests, Naru is cruel to Azuka and tells her she must quit. Hurt and feeling rejected, Azuka decides to return home, emotionally devastated. Dante comes home asking for Azuka, but Naru informs her that she's gone for good. An outraged Dante confronts Naru, who declares that his relationship with Azuka is damaging the group. The argument escalates so much that his friends have to intervene to prevent it from getting worse. Desperate, Dante repeatedly calls Azuka, recalling the moments when their hands touched, touches he dreams of daily and now misses. The group suggests that Dante apologize publicly to calm his fans, but he refuses, claiming his love for Azuka is genuine. Kei insists that Azuka can't be his girlfriend, but Dante questions why he can't have what makes him happy. He finds it unfair. The next day, everyone in the group apologizes on TV except Dante, who ends up being temporarily suspended from public appearances. He distances himself from the spotlight and lives in secret for a few days, distressed by Azuka's absence. During this time, a singer advises him, "The world can be cruel to those who love, but they must accept that music is their life." Meanwhile, the group Blue wins back their fans. Wandering through a place filled with memories where he once held Azuka in his arms, Dante encounters her sister. They talk, and she reveals that Azuka has started teaching and that he needs to forget her. Her sister delivers a message left by Azuka. Dante, realizing that Naruzi knew everything, is outraged at having suffered so much without knowing the truth. Even so, he manages to get Azuka's address. Despite Narui's attempts to stop him, Dante evades him and finds Azuka's boss, who tells him she doesn't want to see him. Dante refuses to believe her until the boss reveals that Azuka left the Bloom group out of love for him, never wanting to interfere with his dream of being a musician. Dante rushes to the address with a heavy heart. There, he listens to a voicemail message left by Azuka. She apologizes for leaving without warning and thanks him for all the moments she spent with him, saying they were perfect. She also says she's proud of Bloom's brilliance and that he helped her gain more confidence. Later, Dante watches her as she teaches children, passing by silently. Azuka notices her perfume, but when they see each other, it's too late. Their love slips away between seconds. And T hands Dante an umbrella, mentioning that Azuka is now happy as a teacher. That was her true dream. A heartbroken Dante returns home and admits to his friends that he was selfish. He acknowledges how hard they all fought to achieve what they have and promises to do his best to bring joy to his fans. However, his friends realize that Dante is still emotionally shaken, so they decide to do one last tour before ending the band. Everyone agrees to keep it a secret until the final show. However, Guaja informs Azuka, who is stunned by the news. Guaja comments that, on the day Bloom was created, he noticed in each of them a smile so intense that he knew they could bring joy to millions of people. He laments the impending end, and so does Azuka. So she goes to the group's house and invites them to gather at the penthouse. There, Naru apologizes for having offended her. Azuka thanks him but says that's not why she's there. She wants to understand the group's disbandment. She remembers that millions of fans support the group, and for a moment feels like they could continue. But one by one, the Blue members reveal they have other dreams to pursue and bid her farewell. With gratitude for everything they shared, only Dante remains. Azuka looks at him and says, "Write your songs from your heart and never regret loving with everything you have." Later, her boss gives her tickets to Bloom's concerts, but Azuka chooses not to go. She distances herself from the boys who continue to sing around the world, leaving their fans ecstatic. At each performance, Dante anxiously searches for her in the crowd, but she doesn't appear until the last show. Azuka decides to go, wanting to see Blue one last time, especially Dante. The show is hair-raising. At the end, Dante addresses the audience and reveals that they were about to disband the group, but those weeks were the most incredible of his life, spent with his fans. With teary eyes, his friends agree and also want to continue with Blue. They decide to split up for 3 years to pursue their personal dreams and then return even stronger. Azuka cries, moved and proud of them. Everyone raises their hands to the sky like a true team that loves each other unconditionally. 3 years pass. Fanny is now a children's teacher. One day she discovers that Bloom has returned and is releasing a new song today. Azuka listens to the song with her heart racing. The song is about love, and suddenly, Dante appears behind her. He says he missed you. The song was recorded, but your presence there is real. He holds your hand, as he has so many times before, and writes, "I love you." Dante asks for a hug, but not just one. He wants it to be the first of many, because after this hug will come endless kisses, as true love is like that, overwhelming like a giant wave that invades the heart. And with every look and word shared, you realize that every sacrifice is worth it just to see the smile of your loved one again. So, did you like the video? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what you thought in the comments. Kisses, and see you in the next video.